Welcome and welcome back, everybody. It's your boy Corey, and today we are going to be doing yet another NBA 2026 mock draft. Now, about a little over a month ago, I did my first mock draft for this 2026 class, and make sure you check that one out after this one to see the differences and see the changes. Now, in my last video, I didn't do any trades, but today we're gonna be doing some trades. Nothing too crazy, maybe, I don't know, we'll figure it out, but here we are, right on Fanspo. Obviously 2026, doing all teams, only doing the first round today. I might do just one more where we do a full draft, but that'll be, we'll decide that later. But today, we just doing our first round draft here. We're gonna go with the NBA or the no ceilings draft board, and let's get right into it. Now, obviously, I'm gonna probably go through these first three really quick because it's almost set in stone. AJ Devonson is going to be the number 1 overall pick. He should be the number 1 overall pick. And if it's not, it should probably be Darren Peterson. And obviously, if it's not Darren Peterson, he's going to go number 2 to the Utah Jazz. Really nothing more to say there. I mean, these guys have been 1 and 2 pretty much the entirety of the year. So they're pretty interchangeable at that 1 and 2 spot. But the way that it's looking like Washington is going to go with AJ. I really hope. And it looks like Utah is going to go with Darren Peterson. So at number 3, that leaves Cameron Boozer, who I think should be the pick. Now, obviously, it's probably going to be a little bit of a toss-up between him and Caleb Wilson. But I think at the end of the day, Cam Boozer is probably a better fit for Memphis. Obviously, we know that their front office is very analytically driven. And this has been, the analytical darling for the entirety of this draft cycle. So I think there's a perfect fit there. And at number 4, there's been a little bit of rumblings of some other guys, but I personally think this is a 4-person draft. So obviously the Chicago Bulls are going to go with Caleb Wilson. Now at number 5 is where the draft really starts. Now the Clippers have some decisions to make. Could they trade back a little bit? Maybe they like one of these guys, but they think that, hey, we can maybe trade back to 6 or 7 and still be able to get our guy. Or do we just go ahead and grab our guy here? I think that they just go ahead and grab their guy because with this slew of these 4 guards right here, you really don't know who's going to go where. Obviously, Darius Acuff has been mocked to Sacramento or linked to Sacramento and Brooklyn. But other than that, man, you really don't know what these top 4 guards are. So if you got your guy, you go get your guy. And right now, I think that guy is Michael Brown Jr. I think even if you keep Darius Garland, he's very capable of being a combo guard. And obviously, if you move on from Darius Garland and you move on from Kawhi and you kind of reset and start a rebuilding, going a rebuilding direction, Michael Brown Jr., I think he could really be a star in this league. Now, Brooklyn is up next on the clock at number 6. I think that they have a lot of options. Obviously, you can take one of the guards. They've been linked to Nate Ament recently. A lot. I don't know about taking Nate Ament that high. I do like Nate Ament as a prospect, and he's definitely kind of shot up my draft board, if you will, as of recent. But I just don't know about going number 6 for him. I personally will probably, even though you did take a lot of guards last year, none of those guards were like, hey, this is our number 1 PG, this is our PG1. Jaeger Demon was probably the best of those guards, and obviously, as we've seen throughout the year, he could play the 2 and he can play, an off-ball role and, still be able to bring the ball up the floor occasionally. So I think you can slide him at the 2 and put Darius Acuff at the 1 right next to him, and it will be just fine to, you now have your foundation, your blueprint, especially at the 1 and 2 spot. And the guard spot in our league is so valuable. You look in the NBA Finals right now, Jalen Brunson last year, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Tyrese Halliburton. These guard spots are super pivotal for you to be a championship team in this league. Now on to number 7. This is where it gets interesting. I think the Kings really like Darius Acuff. I think they will probably call Los Angeles, be like, hey, let's trade up to number 5 so we can go get Acuff. I think they will probably call Brooklyn and say, hey, you want to flip so we can go get Acuff. If Acuff is not on the board, I do think that they will trade out of it. Now, what trade would that be, you might ask? I think OKC calls him up. I think OKC calls him up, gives him 12, gives him 17 for number 7. And now we have Oklahoma City picking in the top 10. And at number 7, I think they go Ade Mara. You have Isaiah Hartenstein, who has his team option looming, which I assume they're going to decline. Maybe you can re-sign him on a cheaper deal, but you go out and get another 7-footer, a 7'3" guy who can pass the ball like Hartenstein. You know, he kind of has that similar game to Hartenstein, and obviously way younger, way cheaper, can maybe even be able to stretch the floor for you down the road. I think if you're Oklahoma City, I think being able to just give up your 2 first-round picks to go up and get, a guy that can come in and contribute right away at, what is seeming like a position of need, especially if Chet can't get his shit together and be able to play the 5, and he's gonna need a big next to him. Ade Mara, I think, would fit perfectly for this Oklahoma City team. And now we get to Atlanta, who have also been linked to Ade Mara, but I personally don't think that they should or would have picked Ade Mara. But you get to this spot at number 8 and you see Keaton Wagler sitting at number 8, and you run up to the podium and give Adam Silver your draft card with Keaton Wagler on it. This is a slam dunk for Atlanta. You get probably who I personally think is the 3rd best guard out of this group and could possibly be the 2nd best guard. I think Michael Brown is the best, but you get the 2nd or 3rd best guard in this class at number 8, and they fall. You don't have to trade. You don't have to do anything. I think that's perfect for Atlanta, especially in a spot where you were thinking, hey, we probably don't want Kingston Flemings if he's the last guard on the board, so that's when we may go at Ade Mara. But nonetheless, Atlanta goes Keaton Wagler at number 8. Now at number 9, I think this makes it really easy for Dallas. You just go and get Kingston Flemings, 6'4", can play both sides just like Cooper Flagg. Perfectly fits, the team that they're kind of building, and especially with Masai Ujiri, he loves size, he loves length, and he loves defense. So obviously, Kingston Flemings, his wingspan was left a lot to be desired during the combine, but he's very aggressive on the defensive end, and he's definitely engaged, and he can just come in and fit right next to Cooper Flagg. Obviously, we're gonna want him to shoot the 3 a little bit more, but I think obviously transitioning to the NBA, I think he'll be just fine in that aspect. Dallas Mavericks walk away with Kingston Flemings at number 9. At pick number 10, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, this is where I have another trade. Now, number 10, they're going to be picking at number 10. But this is where they call up Miami, and maybe this gets done before the draft, but this is where the Giannis trade happens. Obviously, it's going to be more than just a 13th pick going from Miami to Milwaukee, but we're just doing this draft right here. So as of right now, the Bucks will be picking 10th and 13th. Now here at number 10, if Giannis is gone, I think you go with the upside play here. I think this is where Nate Ament goes. I think Nate Ament in Milwaukee as, a good starting point to your reset, to your rebuild. I think this is, perfect. I think that, obviously there are probably a lot of better, win now players on the board, but once again, we're restarting. We're saying, hey, let's see what this kid can do. Let's see what he's got, and hopefully, he can be a really good basketball player for us, and maybe a superstar one day. And picking at number 11, we have the Golden State Warriors, who I personally think, once again, is another team who this player falls. We're like, hey, go ahead, write that down. Get us to Adam. 2 seconds into their draft slot, you go and you get Yaxel Lendeborg. I think that this is like a match made in heaven for the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, they still had the option to trade this pick. I don't think that they would do so. I think this is where you run to the podium and you go get Yaxel, a super versatile guy, can play the 3 through 5, can guard the 3 through 5, can put the ball on the floor, can shoot the ball. I mean, super versatile player for this Golden State Warriors offense, or just team in general. And I think this is a slam dunk pick right here at number 11. Now at number 12, Sacramento Kings are making their first selection in this draft. I think this is a good spot for LeBaron Philon. Obviously, as everybody in the world knows, the Kings, they want a point guard. They wanted Darius Acuff. You swing out on Acuff. You say, hey, let's just gather a couple assets. Let's trade back. Hopefully, we can still get one of our guys. And I think that guy is LeBaron Philon Jr. Now, at pick 13, Milwaukee making their second selection of this draft. Once again, starting over, you know, going into a rebuild, going into a reset. Braden Burns is on the board. You go and take him. I think this is another high upside, you know, even a higher floor than probably a lot of the younger prospects in this draft. High floor, high ceiling, you know, really gritty, you know, can maybe get some on-ball reps and be able to develop that way. I think this is, again, a good pick, a great pick for the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, finishing off the lottery at number 14, we have the Charlotte Hornets. They can go there's a lot of options still on this board. You have Morris Johnson. You have Jaden Quainance if they want to go big still. You know, maybe you say, hey, Kobe White, you might be asking for a little bit too much money. Bennett Sturts, we can go get him. We could go get Christian Anderson, Abuka Corey, who I like a lot. You also have, you know, maybe you want to go wing and possibly a Miles Bridges replacement. Dalen Swain's on the board. Karim Lopez on the board. Cole Pete's on the board. Hans Steinbeck is still on the board, man. A lot of options for this Charlotte Hornets team. But if I'm the Charlotte Hornets GM, I say, hey, let's go big and let's go get Morris Johnson Jr., who I think is the best big on the board at this point. You know, really gritty guy, gets it done on both ends, really mobile, super agile, super quick, really stout defender, can, you know, maybe be able to stretch the floor coming to Charlotte, or even if not, you know, they have found some success with having a 5-man that can do the dirty work and just you know, do everything that the stars aren't gonna do and be able to let them shine and do their thing. Now that's the lottery right there. I'm gonna show you the entire lottery right here. Obviously, AJ DeBonster 1, Darren Peterson 2. We had a Dave Mara, Oklahoma City trade up to go get him. We had the Bucks make the Giannis trade. They get Nate Man at 10, Braden Burns at 13. And, you know, that's how the rest of the lottery shakes out right there. Now, that at number 15 for the Chicago Bulls, you just got Caleb Wilson. You're sitting right outside of the lottery. I think you just go best player available, best upside available, and both of those are in Jaden Quainance. Now, obviously the injury concerns are there, and I get it. But you're Chicago. What do you have to lose? You're starting over, new regime coming in the front office, new regime coming in the coaching staff. What do you have to lose to taking a chance on a 20-year-old kid? Is he 20? I thought he was like 19. I think he's 19, right? I think he's 19. You take a chance on a 19-year-old kid who has probably the best defensive upside in this entire draft. You say, hey, let's give him a shot. And I mean, at pick 15, I think that's a good spot for him. Now the Memphis Grizzlies picking again at number 16. Some good options here. Obviously, now that we know Ja Morant is more than likely to be traded before or on draft night, I think they may go point guard. And if you ask me, the next best point guard on this list right here is Abuka Okori, and I think that's exactly where they go. I think that he's like the most obvious Tyrese Maxey prototype in this draft. Really quick, can get downhill, can shoot the 3 ball off the dribble, has a little bit more to be desired on the playmaking side, but I mean, as a guy, a freshman, a 19-year-old kid, averaging 23 points as the main guy on a team in the ACC, you cannot ask for much more from a kid. And I think that his draft stock is severely underrated. I mean, the super plus wingspan, I think 6'7" wingspan at 6'2", you can't beat that, man. You just cannot. Abuka Okori is a pick there at 16. Now the Sacramento Kings back on the draft board at 17, making their second selection of this 2026 draft. You look at the players left, you go, okay, who do we think can come in and give us an immediate spark while also being able to develop and become, you know, one of our next guys? I think you look Dalen Swain's way. I think (6'8", 220 plus wingspan, really good year at Texas. Obviously, if you can get his shooting right, I think he will be, you know, a really good player, a two-way player, maybe even two-way star in this league. And you get him at 17 if you're Sacramento, I think you're more than happy with that, the Charlotte Hornets picking here at number 18. I think if he's still on the board at 18, you're running to the podium, another team running to the podium saying, hey, here we go, Adam Silver, give me Cam Carr. Now, if you've been watching my videos on this channel for a while, you know I've been screaming from the rooftops. Cam Carr is gonna be a star in this league. I promise you. He has all of the tools. I personally think that he should go lottery, but the consensus is that he will probably fall out of that, or maybe even get to pick 14, 13, that kind of range. I think that he's even in play for Charlotte at 14. But if you can, go and get who you got at 14. Who do we get him at 14? Oh, done it. Oh, where is it? 14. You get Morris Johnson and you walk away with Cam Carr at 14 and 18. Two guys that can come in and contribute immediately and also have some pretty high upside. You can't ask for much more if you're the Charlotte Hornets. Now, for the Toronto Raptors, again, another guy that's fallen that I really like. I made a video on him not too long ago. I think you go Hans Steinbach, 6'11", really, really good on the boards. Probably, a top 3 to 4 rebounder in this draft. Can stretch the floor a little bit. I think this is like a perfect pick for Toronto if he falls here to 19. Another guy who I think his stock is a little bit underrated and probably got hurt by him not being in the March Madness tournament. But once again, if he falls to 19, I think Toronto will be all over that. Now we have the San Antonio Spurs, who are right now currently in the NBA Finals, down 0-2. And if you ask me, their obvious glaring problem is size. Outside of Wembanyama, they're small. Outside of Luke Cornett, they're small. I think if they can get some more size next to Wemby and, help him out. If you checked out my one move that each team should make video, I think 2 videos ago now, go check that out. I had them saying they need Chris Sinak Jr., and that's exactly who they're going to pick right here at number 20. High upside, has a lot of good tape, being a point of attack defender at moments. Shout out to Ben Pfeiffer for that on Twitter. He went through and showed a lot of clips of him being a solid point of attack defender. Can stretch the floor, is a good rebounder next to Wemby, or even, to help with the non-Wemby minutes, for him to go out and be a rim protector, be a defender, be a stretch big. I think that's a good gift for San Antonio at 20. Now here at 21, some solid options. Getting a little thin, but still some solid options for Detroit. I think you go and get Bennett Sturts, being able to come off the bench and provide some secondary creation for Detroit. I mean, it's a good get at 21. Another guy who probably could have went in the lottery, but falls down to 21. Now here at 22, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. This is a team, a trade out candidate, I think. Now, do I know exactly what that may be? I'm not sure. But for today's sake, let's just say they stick here at number 22. Karim Lopez is still on the board. Let's go ahead and give him Karim Lopez. I really like him. I had him in a video not too long ago. I think that he kind of reminds me of like a Jalen Johnson with a little bit less playmaking. Super strong. His hands are huge. Super strong, super physical. Can put the ball on the floor a little bit. Really good in transition. Obviously, is probably going to have to, not probably, he's going to have to improve his shot like a lot of guys on this draft board. But a good get for Philadelphia at number 22. Now the Atlanta Hawks at number 23. They picked up Keaton Wagler at 8. Let's see who else is left on the board. We still have Akoa Pete. Amari Allen is out of the draft. Christian Anderson is still here. Yesufu is out of the draft. I think they say, hey, Christian Anderson's still here. We don't know about CJ McCollum coming back. Obviously, we just got Keaton Wagler, but does it really hurt to have some shot creation off the bench? No, not really. So Christian Anderson goes there at number 23. Now, pick number 24 for the New York Knicks. Obviously, like I said earlier, finals are going on right now. They are up 2-0 on the San Antonio Spurs, headed back to Madison Square Garden. And I mean, Cole Pete's here. Could they go Cole Pete? Malik Thomas for some shot creation. I didn't know he was still here. Allen Graves. I think Allen Graves is a really good pick for them. A guy that can probably develop or even maybe come in and provide right away. 6'9", do it all, Swiss Army knife can play the wing, can play the forward, can even play a little bit of small ball 5, even though I don't really think that exists anymore. But once again, another good get for the New York Knicks. Now at pick 25, I think this is like the pretty consensus pick. I think everybody is almost guaranteeing this. Henry Vassar to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now he was mocked in the second round the first time I did a mock draft, but I think he's kind of solidified himself at probably 25 is his max. And I think that he goes at his max there in Los Angeles. Pick number 26 with the Denver Nuggets. Cole Pete is still on the board. Isaiah Evans, Joshua Jefferson, Malik Thomas. Ooh, Malik Thomas. That might be the play. That might be the play. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Malik Thomas for the Denver Nuggets. Some shot creation off the bench. You know, he showed some really, really good flashes of that over his freshman season at Arkansas. So, I mean, hey, they need shooting, they need scoring. Let's go get Malik Thomas. Pick 27 with the Boston Celtics. It is getting pretty slim. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's getting pretty slim. I think they picked the upside play with Cole Pete. I think a guy like this, if he falls to 27, obviously probably the best player available. I think you go out and get that. Now, will he contribute right away? Who knows? Obviously, he's gonna have to get his shot better. But if there's any coach in the league that I think can get him to, you know, his potential, I think that's Joe Mazzulla over in Boston, who just won Coach of the Year. Pick 28 with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, this is possibly a pick that they won't even have. They might even be in the Giannis sweepstakes. They might be in the whoever sweepstakes, because obviously he wants answers and he wants some better players to be able to compete for an NBA Finals and NBA championship. So who knows if they're even going to make this pick. But I think with how the board is filing out right now, I think Isaiah Evans is probably the way that they're going to go. You get some shooting off the bench. Obviously, he's going to have to ramp it up on the defensive end, but probably one of the best shooters in this draft, and you get him at pick 28. The Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, this would have been an obvious Amari Allen. This would have been an obvious Tunde Yesufu, but both of these guys are going back to school. So I think if it's pick 29, I don't know, man. Like, it's getting really, really slim. I'm not gonna lie, man. This NIL era is nuts. Let's go Joshua Jefferson. Do I really have a reason? No, not really. Besides the fact that, you know, he can come in and contribute right away. We know that he's a Swiss Army knife, a point forward, if you will, 6'9". You know, obviously he was the guy for Iowa State, got hurt late in the year. Not sure if he would be ready for day one of the NBA season, but you kind of hope so. And you just kind of see what you can get. Obviously, it's pick 29. You can't expect too much. Now, in and off the draft at pick number 30, the Dallas Mavericks. We got them Kingston Flemings early in the draft at pick number 9. Once again, like I said, this draft gets slim once you get to that 25 range. Could they go big? Terrence Reed? Could they go Zubia Ejiofor, Luigi Suigo? Could they go another guard? Tyler Tanner went back to school. I don't think Braden Smith goes this high. Jeez, man, really, really slim. For the sake of time, let's just say they go big. Let's say they take a shot on Luigi Suigo. I don't know too much about him, but hey, 7'3". What more can you ask for? And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the full 30 pick first round of the 2026 NBA draft. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. If y'all enjoyed that one, make sure you leave a like. Like I said, let me know in the comments what you think of this mock draft. Who would you have where? Do you like these trades that I put in here? Do you think OKC is a trade up candidate to go get a Dave Mara? Do you think that Milwaukee would pick Nate Ament? I've been seeing a lot of Milwaukee fans saying, hey, we do not want Nate Ament. But I think it's a good upside play, if you ask me. If you love the draft content, man, make sure you leave a like on this video. Make sure you sub up, turn them noti bells on, because once this NBA Finals is over, man, the draft content is rolling. And I'm going to have plenty more in store. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm out.